Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of What Ted Says, where it's always time to get a fatter wallet and a bigger net worth. Of course, that's what we do here on What Ted Says. Help you out with all kinds of things, personal finance hacks, social media, entrepreneurship, and of course, entrepreneurship, and of course, some fun shit from time to time. We do all that on here. And today, I'm repping out the Yellow Donkey. Got to check it out in Santorini. You have to do that at some time. One of the favorite places that I have for you to go to in this entire planet. Now, I want to talk to you today about something important because I get this question all the time, which is, Ted, should I hire my kids in the business? And it is a very tricky question. So one of the first things you need to know is something called the Fair Standard Labors Act. And this is generally really to protect minors altogether. So if your child is under the age of 14, at all businesses, there's really nothing that they can do. Once they reach the ages of 14 and 15, they can work, but with some restrictions. Then at the ages of 16 and 17, they can work, but generally nothing with hazardous or manufacturing type materials. And then once they reach the age of 18, then generally you're home free, you can do anything you want. But wait, if in fact they work for one parent or they work for two parents, all of that is off the table, which is really, really good, because then you can consider hiring your child in the business. The private letter ruling that I have seen for the youngest child was a child that was 8 years old, that was actually an expert, and they were certified as a Microsoft expert, Microsoft certified, which is really interesting. Now, why would I want to hire my child in the business? And the main reason is to do something called income shifting. So if you consider today the kind of taxes that you pay federal tax, you pay state tax, you're going to pay FICA, Social Security, you're going to pay Medicare. In many cases, as an owner, you're going to be paying something called FUTA or SUTA, which is federal unemployment tax. Under the tax law changes that happened in 2018, this is the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, a standard deduction for an individual is $12,200. So technically speaking, if my child did a bona fide job, and this is the really important part of this, because if you hired anybody in your company, you would generally have a job description, you would have a file, the HR file that would be on hand in your company. Their job has to be bona fide, and the pay that you pay them needs to be relevant what you would pay somebody on the street to do the same job. But let's take the case in here where I pay my child $10,000. In this case, now the $10,000 I'm paying my child gets deducted from my business, which means I'm not paying federal tax on that $10,000. Because my child has up to a $12,200 or higher, depending upon each year as it grows, standard deduction, they will not pay any federal tax on that money as well. So now I've completely escaped federal tax, and my child could choose to save that money in a 529 plan. They could choose to put the money because they've earned income in a Roth IRA, or they can put it in any other type of vehicle. But it's actually a great way to get those dollars now circumvented from where you would pay tax to now where your child won't pay tax at all, again, if they're doing a bona fide job. There may be some Social Security tax that you would have to pay, but in general, the taxes are so much more minimal than all the taxes that you would have to pay from a federal level. So if you follow these rules, get your child into a bona fide job, make sure that you have excellent documentation, and then consider the street pay that you can pay them for the relative time that they work for you, you can put your child in your business. Ask yourself this: could they do social media better than you can? Can they run some of the technology programs better than you can? And what will be the cost to hire somebody to do that job on the outside? I've seen and used this strategy for many, many years, and it can make a big difference in keeping more dollars in your pocket and potentially funding goals like your child's college education. If you like this video today, click the button subscribe right here, share it with your friends or somebody that may have kids in their business. It may be a big way to save money, and that's another episode of What Ted Says.